Hey guys, I want to talk to us about grounded apparel a second. Grounded apparel was an idea that was given to me during the winter. I was really struggling with my health. It was cold. I couldn't get out and do a lot of stuff, and so I just felt I felt overwhelmed. I felt like I had no plan, I had no place to go. Felt unsafe. Felt disconnected from everyone and everything. Felt like I had nothing I could count on, nothing I could trust in. I knew I had my family and I had those things, but I'd lost my direction, lost my purpose. Had had my own business for years and built houses and poured concrete and led worship, taught youth, but all that kind of slipped away as my health took a dive, and so I just really felt lost. Physically, emotionally, spiritually. Just trauma was building up left and right. Didn't know where to turn or what to do. So I turned my efforts toward running, riding bike, connecting with nature, just trying to find my way. So I did that every day. That was my plan, because when I would wake up in the morning, I felt very lost, without direction. So I began my mornings running. And I would go in the woods and I'd run a mile or two, whatever I could last, whatever I could stand. Let my body process emotions. I would holler and scream and yell, and still do sometimes. But I would just get rid of everything that was going on in me emotionally. I would do my fair share of grounding. Is what this whole thing's about, is touching the earth when I could, when it was warm enough or when my body could handle it. My hands, my feet on the ground, my knees, sometimes my forehead, whatever to bleed out these emotions and allow health to come back to my body. So as one day I'm running my guts out, I'm saying I just don't know how much more I can take. This idea hit me, grounded apparel, and I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know what it was for, but as the days I continued to run, pieces pieces begin to come together, and ideas and thoughts of a direction for not just me, but for my family and then for my community. It's been tough, but every day I got up and I ran and I listened for those ideas as I came up with ways to reach out and ways to help folks and ways to make and create a clothing line and a business that would benefit our community. It has not been easy, not one moment of it. I have got up every morning kicking, screaming, fighting. Sometimes I slip outside, sometimes I still sleep outside, to connect, to allow my body to heal, to allow my body to stay focused. I knew there was a vision, an idea inside of me, but sometimes it's so difficult to drag it out. And maybe that's where you're at. Maybe you've got an idea or a vision and you're just having difficulty dragging it out. But just keep steady. Keep on pushing. Keep the faith. Don't give up, bro. But anyway, off course. Grounded apparel. The whole idea of grounded apparel is not to sell clothes. It's not to sell shirts. It's not to make money. It's not to say, hey, look, I got this clothing line I came up with. Ain't it freaking cool? Maybe it will be cool. I have no idea. I don't know. It's not my purpose. My purpose is to get people talking about the earth, about the ground, about connecting our bodies back to the earth the way we were designed. 50, 60 years ago, we got rid of leather shoes, rubber soles. The body came disconnected with the earth. Heart disease, obesity, diabetes, all skyrocketed. Emotional issues began to rise. we lost connection with the earth. We lost connection with the ground. And when we lost connection with the ground, we begin to lose connection with each other. There's just a network that pulls us together through the earth. So grounded apparel is more than just clothes. It's more than just oils. It's more than just colors. It's more than just hats and shirts and shoes and whatever else I can come up with. It's more than that. It's about us connecting our bodies, receiving the power that the earth has for our body to regenerate, to find life, to find balance. The word grounded means to return to normal. I don't know about you, but I needed that more than anything, an outlet that would help me return to normal. And I need it daily, and sometimes a lot, sometimes a little. And I'll remind you that grounding allows the body to let go of a lot of stuff. So some days you can handle a lot, some days you can handle a little. But grounding is very beneficial. We walk grounded, we sleep grounded, we try to eat grounding foods, and now I'm finding that connecting with people is very grounding. When I feel off and I can't get my thoughts together and I feel overwhelmed, you wouldn't believe how maybe going into a store or a restaurant and seeing somebody that I know and beginning a conversation with them will bring my body back into a normal rhythm. It calms things down. It lets me know that everything's going to be okay, that there are people out there that love me and that care for me. And we all need reminded of that. So if you're struggling, why don't you get connected with Grounded Apparel? We're nobody special. This is nothing special. But this is about connecting with the earth, connecting with others, connecting with color, and with other things that I have learned through the middle of this mess that has carried me through and kept me from going completely nutty. And a lot of you folks may have seen me on the side of the road running, stretching, walking on the ground, walking on my hands, eating on the ground, talking to myself, whatever it may be. So be it. So be it. It has kept me on course, kept my family moving forward in a time where we thought we never would. We've lost a lot of things, but we have the most important thing still yet is one another. So whatever you're going through, do not give up. Do not quit. Do not stop. Do not back down. One thing you must do is use your voice. Talk. Talk to yourself. Motivate yourself. Tell yourself it's going to be okay. That is very grounding. Your body loves the sound of your voice when it speaks positive things. So you remember that. You remember when you can't take another step. You may need to scream. You may need to talk softly. But you listen to your body and you allow it to direct you. That's what connecting with the earth means. You gain a higher perspective of being able to listen to your body, what it needs food-wise, physical-wise, emotional, in the emotional department. You begin to hear all of that. At times it's very overwhelming, especially the noise we get if we go in a store or we go in somewhere. I reference it to the time that Superman went back to Krypton and he couldn't stand all of the chaos that was going on. He fell on the floor and began to what seemingly looked like die, but he slowly adapted to that environment. Well, that's the way it feels for me sometimes. It's very overwhelming here with a lot of these physical issues, and so I go in places and when my body's not well, it feels overwhelmed. It feels like it's just too much input. Well, connecting to the earth for me calms that storm. It brings a peace and a calm and a quietness to my body. And it allows me to think clearly, to move clearly, to talk clearly, to function again like I did a long time ago. I still have bad days. I still have days where I'm overwhelmed. I still have days that are not the best. That's life. But since I've found this connection with the earth and found this ability to ground, it's been very vital for me and my whole family. I try to run grounded daily. I try to swim. I try to do things that I get in nature, things that connect me to the earth, that remind me who I am and where I'm from. But then I also remind myself I have to come out of that spot, out of the woods, and I have to connect with people, because without people, without the connection with others, I can't do life. I can't make it on my own. So remember that. But I really hope that folks will find Grounded Apparel a line of clothing that they can find hope in, that they can find has a purpose. It's not just a piece of clothing, because we know it's probably not going to be the most extravagant thing we've ever seen. It's not going to be this awestruck. That's not my point. My point is to connect people. And I want this clothing line, I want people to look at it and ask questions, and say, hey, what's this about? I want it to strike up conversations. I want it to bring health and hope to families and to others and to those that have walked through very, very difficult times emotionally and physically and spiritually. I want people to connect with that. I want to see our community in a better spot. I want to see our community healthy. I want to see our community connected to one another. And when we do that, we'll have a community that is very strong. When we begin to show respect to others and get connected to the earth, get connected with one another. As we go along this, I'll probably share some more of my story, but I just felt like at this moment I could share a little bit. It's very emotional for me. All the things that I've endured, my family's endured, and it's tough to talk about. But I continue to push forward, and I'm looking for some folks to come alongside me that have been in the same spot. I'm looking for some friends that have been in the same spot, been in some tough times, to connect up with what we're doing and to help us move forward. Not to build up something that we're doing, but to build up something that's going to help others and that's going to put others in a better spot. Because when we take on that mentality, we overcome. The body responds very well when we begin to help others. So remember that. Don't give up. Don't give in. And don't back down. A buddy of mine said this: life's not all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and it'll beat you to your knees if you let it. So I want you to take those shoes off. I want you to connect to the earth, and I want you to stand and fight with me as we move forward. As we move forward with boldness and confidence in what this is going to be able to do. I really appreciate it if you guys listen to this and get involved with what we're doing. Thank you guys.